I come in, sir.
Yes, please do.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Please take your seat.
Thank you, sir.
You're Mr. Hemant Patel.
Yes, sir.
Hemant, you're comfortable?
Yes, sir, I am.
And what is your medium for the interview? English?
Yes, sir, English.
You're comfortable in English?
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
Okay. So, Hemant, you must have noticed that we are following whatever COVID protocols possible.
Yes, sir.
And one of the steps we have taken is that we have kept your chair at adequate distance so that you feel safe, right? And obviously, so do us.
Yes, sir.
And also, another benefit of it is that if you choose to remove your mask, you can, because you are at adequate distance and you'll be feeling safe. So, would you like to remove your mask or you want to continue with the mask?
Yes, sir, I would like to remove it.
Please do.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Feeling safe?
Yes, sir.
And you yourself are not having any symptoms?
No, sir, not at all.
Right. Okay, Hemant, then probably we can continue. To begin with, without repeating your name or indicating your caste, your community or any other identity marker, introduce yourself.
As you know my name, sir, I was born in Banda district of Uttar Pradesh, which is in Bundelkhand region. And later I did my BTech, MTech dual degree in electrical engineering from IIT Kanpur. And after that I worked for an year in Ericsson India in Bengaluru. And later I resigned from that post to prepare for civil services exams.
You did your graduation and post-graduation integrated program?
Yes, a dual degree program.
Dual
BTech
degree program
and MTech.
from IIT Kanpur, supposedly one of the best institutions for this branch. And you worked with Ericsson, which is generally a dream job when it comes to electrical engineers.
Yes, sir.
Why you left that? I mean, why would a graduate engineer, postgraduate engineer will leave a dream company job to become a babu? Why?
Sir, I later, civil services initially was not my job to do for me. That's
Obviously,
why I chose that engineering stream out of my choice, because during my school days I was really fond of that engineering, science and maths optional, and later I did my engineering. And even during the last year of my college days, I was probably focused on that engineering job. That's why I put my 4 or 5 months for the preparation of college placements, and later I got a placement in Ericsson. But when I reached there, I worked almost for an year in that job. But I realized that in continuing in that field for next 30-35 years, that had some kind of monotony. And I also discussed with some of my seniors, which were already working on that location, on that profile for the last 10-12 years. So I kind of sense that if I want to continue on that same field, I will need to have some PhD or postdoc at that level if I want to work in some new projects. And with that graduation degree only, I will surely have some regular jobs, regular software engineering jobs. And if I want to enhance my profile, I will have to go for PhD and postdoc. That will take another.
Electrical engineering as your optional also, which makes sense because
Yes,
you
yes,
are a
sir.
postgraduate in electrical engineering. Let us discuss electrical engineering a while.
Okay.
You must have noticed that whenever there is a distribution, even transmission for that matter, of AC, we usually have that multiples of 11, 110 volt, 220 volt, 11 kV, 33 kV, always multiples, most of the times multiple of 11. Why?
Sorry, sir. For that 11 thing, I am not actually aware.
Did you notice that? It's
Yes, sir.
almost
I
always it is
noticed because
multiples of 11.
That regular transmission, that 11 kV, 220 kV, 330
Yes,
kV.
there must be some reason why 11. Okay, what is form factor? That may have anything to do with it.
Form factor, actually I exactly do not have any.
You don't remember form factor?
I remember form factor. Form factor is related with the distortion of that how closely that wave is related with the sine wave and all. So that is the form factor, because and 11 thing may be related by that √3 factor that comes in single phase and 3 phase. But I am not sure about
What is
that.
RMS value?
Root mean square value.
That is how you barely expanded the form. But what exactly is RMS value?
RMS
Value of any voltage for that matter.
okay, sir. RMS value is that value of that current or say voltage at which that value or current will produce the same heating effect that will be produced by the same amount of DC current or voltage value.
Okay. You must have noticed that of late we have started using LED,
Yes, sir.
right? Tell me, if the electrons are flowing up from place A to B, forward biased, as in the case of LED, how does it start producing light? Where the photons come from? It's a flow of electrons. Why should it be turned into photons?
Photons,
In simple words, I am asking how LED produce light.
LED produce light because there is a because when there is a transition of electrons from higher energy bands to lower energy bands, that the reduction in energy is being converted into the light energy.
Why is the question? Why not heat? Why not any other form, sound? Why light?
Sorry, sir, I may not be able to justify that answer questions.
No problem. If we look at the non-renewable energy scape of our country right now, what do you see? I mean, why is it not possible for a state like UP to aspire for huge solar production, generation?
In present situation, the solar is having solar has a requirement of large land parcels, and because of that, Uttar Pradesh has high population density. We do not have that much area to install large.
So one constraint is the availability of land.
Yes, sir.
Is there any geographical factor also that why it's not a good idea for UP to have it, while it will be okay to have for Tamil Nadu to aspire for it?
It is somehow related to that the number of days the sunlight is available and the intensity of the sunlight, because as we move towards the equator, the intensity of light increases and it is more intense in the regions between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. To say at least UP is above the Cancer of Tropic.
So that could be one reason.
Yes, sir.
If you stay in the same, say, the green technology front, recently there's a big push for electrical mobility.
Yes, sir.
And my understanding, a general layman understanding is that having electrical vehicles will not reduce pollution. It will only shift pollution from vehicles to generation, right? Why do we say that electrical vehicles are environment friendly? They merely shift the pollution, isn't it?
No, sir, it is not like that.
Okay, explain it to me.
Okay, sir. Because as we know, electricity has many sources to produce.
So you're basically saying that the electrical vehicles will use electricity that will be produced from
non-generation. I am coming to that point, sir. First thing is, electricity can be produced from renewable sources. That is one added point for that one. And the next thing is, even if you are producing electricity from non-renewable or non-renewable sources, that majority of which is coal.
Right.
But the efficiency of the coal plants, that the thermal power plants, varies from 30% to 40%. Some of the modern power plants are 40% efficient. But the regular combustion engine, which is being used in most of the cars and two-wheelers, they are usually most of the vehicles have efficiency from 20% to 30%. So this shift in efficiency is the main reason.
So,
okay, Hemant, tell me how a electrical engineer
yes, sir,
makes a better bureaucrat as compared to somebody who has done a simple graduation in Indian history.
Sir, as in my engineering background, my engineering background has really helped me to at least see the graphs, data and all those things.
Just draw a comparison how, if you take into the administration, will prove to be an asset as compared to somebody who is having a very conventional educational background, like somebody has done graduation in Indian history. That is my question.
So Indian history student may have his or her own advantages, but in present context, in current scenario, we are pushing for the technology driven changes, most of them, whether it comes to the governance, whether it comes to the use of information and communication technology things. So if somebody is having a background of all these kind of things, so in that case he may be able to understand the actual requirement of the public. He may be able to understand in a better way when he is compared with the traditional
So what you are suggesting is definitely a mechanical engineer or electrical engineer will be, in a better position to handle the precarious and challenging circumstances that a bureaucrat faces as compared to somebody who
This
is having?
is one of the things, but in long run, in a job of a bureaucrat, there is a transition from the that policy implemented to the policy maker.
Okay, if there is only one post and two people are aspiring for that, one is a electrical engineer and other one is a, let's take that example here as well, that history graduate, fine, and there is no difference between the marks scored by the two candidates in PT as well as mains, right? The only difference between the two candidates are, I'm saying are, there are two differences. First, the engineer comes from Uttar Pradesh and is applying for Uttar Pradesh Civil Service Examination.
Okay.
The history graduate comes from Bihar and he is applying for that, and that person from Bihar is elder to you in age. Who has a greater claim? And on the parameters of performance in all the examination, all the schemes that has been put in place to select the candidates are same. They have done equally well.
So
Who
with
has
my
the greater?
own experience, what I have seen in other persons, other personalities in our country and all, so I will prefer for that electrical engineering guy. I will not give much weightage to the age factor, because in case, as we have already seen that some of the politicians, some of the other successful peoples, many of them are from electrical, not electrical engineering, but from engineering background, or they are doing well, whether it is cricket, whether it is politics or any other technical field. So I think
I can smell a sense of prejudice,
No, sir, that
taking taking currents in your personality, because every time you are espousing the cause of electrical engineer, or for that matter, speaking generally, anybody having this technical background will be a better background. Okay, fine. Tell me, you must be aware about this piece of news that UPSC has advertised 20 vacancies at the level of joint secretary through lateral entry, right? Are you
yes,
aware
sir,
about
recently
this?
30 vacancies.
So there cannot be any denying that if this innovation is put into practice, it will definitely bring in certain kind of expertise, domain knowledge, system improvement, and there are many good things. See, the bureaucrats are opposing this move. What's your take on that? Do you also express your sympathies with the bureaucrats, or it is a genuine thing? This should have been done long ago. Rather, it is a delayed thing.
Sir, I will say this move of lateral entry is a good thing to do, because obviously in current scenario there is a kind of some changing dynamics in whether it comes to the policy implementation or the new fields that are arising, whether it is some of good governance or ICT things. So lateral entry, I support the idea of lateral entry, because it surely brings some diversity in that field. And so, but one thing I should I think our politicians and our the policy makers should be aware of that, because these joint secretary level things, these that there should be some of the posts, but not all of the posts should be filled by the lateral entry.
Okay. Now tell me, do you know something about this Quad?
Yes, sir.
How many countries are there in Quad?
4, sir.
Which are the countries?
India, Australia, Japan, USA.
See, people are saying, actually it's this perception is gaining currency. See, the idea behind formation of Quad was to contain the growing economic clout of China in Indo-Pacific region, right?
Yes, sir.
4 countries coming together to contain the economic footprint of China, fine. But there are certain section of people who are saying ki this is the precursor of a full-fledged military alliance between the 4 countries. And if this is true, the one country that will be greatly benefited will be none other than India. If this is the scenario, tell me how India will be getting the maximum benefit out of this association. Let me make it very clear. I just want to test your understanding of international affairs and the dynamics which are at play.
So indeed, this Quad grouping is surely going to help India, because India already has 2 hostile neighbors. First one is Pakistan and second one is China. And this, as USA and China, Australia and Japan, they are also apprehensive about the expansionist policy of China in South China Sea. So whether it is India or Australia or Japan, all are having some dubious doubts about the Chinese expansionist policies and all. So in that case, if even if they are pursuing their own interest in the region, they will be benefiting India, because all interests are converging in a similar direction, that is to converge, that is to contain China and go for some rule-based order in South China or Indo-Pacific region. So it is surely going to help India, because even though the individual countries, whether USA, Australia and Japan, are going to pursue their own interests, but their interests are surely going to help India.
Thank you.
In containing
Thank you,
China.
Mr. Hemant. Sir.
Hemant,
Yes, sir.
so you are preparing from last 5 years.
Yeah,
It's a huge gap.
around 4 and 4.5.
How you will justify this gap?
Sir, actually, when I started preparing for this examination, I thought I could clear this examination, because with just my hard work and by putting huge number of hours. But when for that first 2 years I put hard work, but that was not in the right direction. So first times I failed in prelims, then in the mains examinations, and later when I realized that there are surely, because the syllabus is so vast, there is I have to put my efforts in some right direction. So later I realized, and I discussed with some of my friends, seniors. So they helped me to that I should go in this direction and put some efforts in to strengthen my optional subject and all. And after that I started getting the results, and this time I am here.
What you will do if you will not select this time?
So to support myself financially, I have been solving questions in an online website, that is check.com, where for that I am being paid. So that is not a regular full-time job, but that gives me decent amount of money to sustain myself. And if I do not pass this exam, then for one more time I would like to appear in this exam. And even if that attempt I am not able to succeed, I may think to go back to my own that electrical engineering profile.
Your hobby is watching documentaries on wildlife.
Yes, sir. I love
Which
to.
documentary have you seen recently?
That Human Planet of BBC was the last documentary.
Critically analyze that documentary. Which kind of improvement or corrections should be made in that documentary in your point of view?
Documentary has indeed covered some multiple dimensions, that how humans have affected the planet, and how the planet, the various types of climates and regions have forced humans to transform as per the nature's laws. So the modifications that I would like to say, I would like to make is, many a times the locations, the camera setups, all those things which are being used to go to the various locations and shoot are sometimes intrusive, and they disturb the wildlife where these things are being shot. So I would like to say better use some better technologies, or use some drones in a better way, so that the wildlife is not being disturbed in large extent.
Next.
This is the only thing I am able to.
So you have a hobby of watching documentaries on wildlife. Tell me the difference between wildlife sanctuary, national park and biosphere reserve.
Okay, sir.
Only key points.
Biosphere reserve is a relatively large area that can encompass a national park, a wildlife sanctuary, and that also allows even some people to reside inside that biosphere reserve. So that Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve is one of the example. And the national park has much more restricted human interference, that almost there is no human interference is allowed inside the national park. And the third one, wildlife sanctuary, is a relatively some species specific conservation effort, and that has more relaxed norms when compared to the national parks.
So if want to do some commercial activities in wildlife sanctuary,
Yes, sir.
then it is possible or not?
I am not very sure about this, but sir, I think it should be possible.
You can make guess.
Yes, sir. It should be possible in wildlife sanctuary to make some commercial movies, commercial shootings.
Okay. Tell me about some expressway projects of Uttar Pradesh. Which authority has responsibility to construct them, and some points of that particular project?
Okay, sir. One project is Bundelkhand Expressway, and the authority responsible for this is Uttar Pradesh Expressway Development Authority, I think. But that is Uttar Pradesh Expressway Authority.
Sure.
Yes, sir. Uttar Pradesh Expressway, this is the keyword, and after that there is authority or something.
Okay.
And the key point about that Bundelkhand Expressway is that it is going to connect one of the remote areas, so-called remote areas, Bundelkhand regions from Chitrakoot, and it is going to join that Agra-Lucknow Expressway near Etawah. So it is going to connect the Bundelkhand to the NCR region. It will be connecting via Yamuna Expressway. And it will also help in that defense corridor that is going to be developed in Bundelkhand region from Jhansi to Chitrakoot.
Hemant, I was listening very carefully when you were discussing these wildlife thing.
Yes, sir.
Recently, we saw that strange episode in which Man versus Wild thing,
Yes, sir.
where Prime Minister Modi was one of a participant, and
Yes, sir.
many believe that rather than enlightening wildlife area, it was more of a comedy. What you as a citizen, we do remember that when it was being shot, shooting was being done, there was an attack on Indian paramilitary forces. So, how do you relate to that particular episode, and do you believe that something terribly wrong was happening during that?
So, terribly wrong in the sense?
In the sense that as a keen documentary watcher,
Yes, sir.
that was one episode you would like not have been shot at all. I'm looking for an honest person in you.
Yes, sir. That shooting of the documentary, I do not find anything wrong in that. But indeed that because our Prime Minister was a part of that documentary, the huge involvement of paramilitary forces must have surely caused some interference in the regular lives of that wildlife in that Jim Corbett National Park.
Fine, Hemant. It was nice talking to you. Your interview is over. You can go now.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
आइए बैठिए.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, Hemant. What's your take? How was it? What are the areas you believe that you handled well, and where you believe that maybe a little improvement is required?
So in the starting, I think I should have done a little bit better. And one of the explanation that I gave to sir, that how will I explain that gap of 5 years? I would like to make some changes in that. So better explanation can be done for that thing.
Well, Hemant, see, I hope you already know it, that a candidate is evaluated not only a candidate is not at all evaluated for questions and the answers.
Yes, sir.
Question and answer are merely medium on the basis of which actually the personality is evaluated. And if you look at your interview, your performance in the interview, I must say that it was reasonably good. I mean, we were happy. I mean, the interview and the discussion that followed suggests that you're a good candidate. The biggest plus about you is that you have this tendency of looking at more than one aspect when a particular question is given to you, and you are able to look at from different perspective, or at least bring a balance to it, which is a very positive thing. If I have to suggest a few things, one is that at places it appears that sometimes your answer tends to be a little longer than they should be.
Okay, sir.
Right?
Yes.
See, there is a definite thirst rather, not hunger, in the board members, and you should have that tendency to gaze that where the board members' thirst is now quenched, and then you should stop. Around that time. Sometimes you take it a little longer.
Okay.
Not that it is a big issue, but it is one issue that you can work on.
Okay,
right?
sir.
Otherwise, your personality is good, your entry is good, sitting posture by and large was good, voice level was good, your vocabulary is not really the strong point of yours, but you do have adequate words to communicate. So I won't say that it is strength of yours, but it is not a weakness either.
Okay.
Right? And hand movement is restricted, eye contact is good, flow by and large is good. I don't know why you were not feeling at home when you were discussing electrical engineering. See, you don't have actually any excuse about electrical engineering,
Yes,
because you both
I
your
did my
graduation,
best.
post-graduation, IIT, and you're optional, all electrical engineering. So be a little bit more forthcoming and more happy when the electrical engineering is being discussed, right? You are very unlikely to get very technical questions. It's very unlikely, but you may get the general in-depth questions about the general understanding of it. So you can look at it. Other things generally very good in fact. I don't see any major hindrance in your personality. It's going to be really good. Interview will not be dragging your performance. It will be adding to whatever you have performed in the mains, right?
Okay, sir. Sir, one thing that the major thing which I need to improve upon is that my answers are a little bit lengthy.
On the communication front, it is only about your answers being a little longer, one.
Okay.
And maybe a voice clarity thing, but this is not something you can do anything about or you should be doing anything about it. Just forget it. Be what you are.
Okay, sir.
Right? That is the only thing. So long answer is probably one thing you can, maybe a little structuring will reduce that length of the answers. Right? I generally give the formula of 3. Think about whenever the question is given, just think whether you can give 3 points to it. Okay? Just think of 3 points and then deliver these points in the reducing order of significance. Okay. Most important, lesser important, least important. Done. That's it. Right?
Okay, sir.
All the best.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.